India's software exports reached a record high of $320 billion in 2023, and nearly 40% of this comes from the IT capital of India, Karnataka. How did this South Indian state become the IT hub and put India on the global map? There are two major reasons for this. One is the computer and software policy of Indira Gandhi. The second is the economic policies of Karnataka government. But the real question is, how did they execute? What are these economic policies that led Karnataka to dominate IT industry? Let's get deep into Silicon Valley in this analysis. India is prepared for the next level of growth in IT revolution. In 2022, the IT BPM industry contributed 7.4% to the GDP and is expected to grow more than 10%. All thanks to the rise of demand for software and cloud products, and also the rise of population in India. India is going to become the largest populated country in the world. If you thought that's a bad news, here is the good side of it. There is a rise in the internet users along with the population growth. According to this report, 52% of Indian population had internet access in 2022. If we break down the stats, there were 759 million internet users overall, and the surprising growth is the rural population had 399 million internet users, more than urban population. This population with internet access along with payment gateway like UPI is one of the major reasons why India's purchasing power has been rising. IT is a major industry and Karnataka plays an important role in taking India to the global map. The growth story of Karnataka is largely because of the Silicon Valley, Bangalore. No matter how much you complain about Bangalore's traffic, you can never ignore how vibrant the city is. From amazing weather conditions, education, hotels to infrastructure, the city has some spectacular IT parks. This growth would not have been possible without the support from the central government of India reforms. First breakthrough happened in 1984, computer and software policy. This was Indira Gandhi's vision to not just build software in India, but also to export software services to other countries. This policy was approved by Indira Gandhi, but sadly she was assassinated just a month before the launch. Later on 19 November 1984, it was announced by Rajiv Gandhi's cabinet. This economic policy permitted duty-free import of computer systems to increase the IT exports through satellite links. In the same year, the government of India launched a new electronics policy. Under this policy, the government started importing computers for government agencies. They started creating science cities and processing zones for free trade export. Majorly, these two policies gave a big boost for Karnataka and a solid foundation for big tech companies like Infosys, Wipro and others. But in 1981, it became even better. The government of India liberalized unfriendly policies like the license raj in the electronics industry. They even removed license raj completely in 1991. For Karnataka software business, the biggest trade was American companies. Large American companies gave technology to Karnataka, and in return, those companies leveraged on the high talent pool and cheap labor. In 1985, the first company to set up a development center in Bangalore was Texas Instruments. This led to a huge path for other big MNC companies to make their entry to the Indian market. As more and more companies started coming in, Bangalore also became a hub for research and development for the software industry. The government of Karnataka started building the technical expertise and multi-skilled labor force to support these R&D centers. To boost the IT sector, the Karnataka government made massive changes to the IT capital, Bangalore. The first major change was infrastructure under special economic zones. In 2009, Karnataka launched the state SEZ policy. This was launched to improve the infrastructure, especially in the IT industry. If you are from Bangalore, you would know Koramangala used to be the hub for tech companies. Instead of creating chaos in the middle of the city, the government came up with a genius plan to develop the city outskirts. They divided the city outskirts into 6 major SEZ clusters: Electronic City, Sarjapur Road, Whitefield, Devanhalli Airport Area, Mysore Road, and Jigani Bannerghatta Industrial Area. After making these clusters, the next important thing the government did was to attract investors. They gave a lot of incentives under the scheme to bring capital. Subsidy on capital investment, reimbursements on power tariffs, reimbursement on land conversion fee, 100% exemption from stamp duty and registration charges, and production-linked incentives. Now, coming up with incentives is not just enough. Back in those days, Bangalore outskirts were underdeveloped and rural areas. That's where the action plan comes into picture. Karnataka Industrial Area Development Board, which is KIADB, had to make a huge planning and development which consumed massive investments. The investments were on 4 major factors: world-class IT parks, connectivity and transportation, education, and power reforms. First, let's look at the IT parks. Under the Special IT and Software Park Scheme, the government gave relaxation on taxes and export-import duty fees and relaxation on importing the hardware. Also, these IT parks get uninterrupted electricity supply. Karnataka is the only state to implement power reforms. Karnataka had an installed power generation capacity of nearly 30,000 megawatts of power as of 2020. If you look at the Bangalore map, these 3 major clusters have the biggest IT parks. Electronic City was the first cluster to be developed in Bangalore, where Infosys is the big IT company in this cluster. Around Electronic City, the government made it into phases like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. This was done to develop the industrial areas around Electronic City and to make it business friendly. The other side of the Electronic City is Sarjapur Road cluster, where Wipro is the big company set up in that SEZ. Next to Sarjapur Road is Whitefield. What you see Whitefield today is because of the vision of the government along with the discussions with Singapore government. The cluster was developed in 1994 as a joint venture between Indian government and Singapore government. The same Singapore technology is used to create the Whitefield cluster. Both the governments still own this cluster. Today, Whitefield has the highest number of IT companies. The whole area is called as ITPB, which is International Tech Park Bangalore. But an important thing to note is visionary Chief Minister S.M. Krishna has played a huge role in bringing this dream into a reality. Now, to make these IT parks successful, the Karnataka government had to make major changes in connectivity. But how? To cover all the clusters and for smooth transportation for IT business, Bangalore built a new outer ring road. The outer ring road connects all the major highways around the city, and this helps the major IT companies to have faster transportation. From there, if we come to the Electronic City side, which is already connected to National Highway 7, in addition to that, they built an elevated expressway which connects from Silk Board Junction to Electronic City. If you are from Bangalore and have seen Silk Board traffic, hats off to you. It used to be a nightmare, but after the flyover, it takes less than 30 minutes to reach. It is one of the longest highway flyovers, nearly 10 kilometers long, and you can drive non-stop. The biggest traffic headache for Bangalore comes only from the areas around these major clusters. Because of these developments, there was a huge migration of population to the city. Today, it's very difficult to identify who is a real native Bangalorean. According to the report, only 49% of the population are natives to Bangalore. The rest of the people are migrants who came to Bangalore for work and settled here because Bangalore is just awesome. Another development is Nice Road, which connects from Bangalore to Mysore. Now it is made even bigger and better. Coming to the local transport, there is BMTC, the government bus department, which does an amazing job. Then there is Namma Metro, which is operational in major hubs that help IT industries, and all of this connectivity leads to Bangalore International Airport. The next big factor that led Karnataka in the IT revolution is education. Karnataka has always given very high importance to education, especially higher education. Even in the recent budget, if you see, there is an importance for education. Karnataka has 41 state government universities, 25 private universities, 11 state deemed universities, and the most important for IT sector is engineering colleges. More than 230 engineering colleges. From computer training to English coaching to skill training, Karnataka has all the facilities in the education field that helps people to master their skills to match global standards. 80% of the global IT giants have offices in Bangalore. In 1991, Bangalore had exported just 16 crores in IT. In 1993, this increased to 56 crores. Within just 5 years, it went to 3,500 crores. Bangalore has come a long way since 1991. In 2022, Bangalore exported 6,30,000 crores of software. Because the Karnataka government has made sure all the companies experience a great amount of infrastructure advantages and also tax relaxations. The only issue the Karnataka government faced till recent years was all these developments were majorly concentrated in and around Bangalore. The main reason for this is because the revenue generated from Bangalore gets distributed to the rural part of Karnataka. It is very, very important that Bangalore keeps growing because Bangalore is not just part of Karnataka. It is a brand that represents India to the world. However, the government has already been nurturing other parts like Hubli, which is becoming a sandbox hub for startups, and other parts like Mysore and Bangalore. To conclude this video, I want to say one thing. For India to become a magnet for investments in the tech industry, we need to build at least 3 to 5 mega tech cities like Bangalore. And of course, there should be people like Bangaloreans, because Bangaloreans are just awesome. If you think this video is also awesome, hit the subscribe button and I will see you in the next video.